Good morning, I'm Jan James from Parental Alienation UK, which is part of the Good Egg Safety CIC group. I'm a social marketer. I'm not a PA expert. My role is to develop initiatives, marketing campaigns that address social issues. And we've run many different campaigns addressing rider safety, young driver safety, older person safety, domestic abuse, which is where parental alienation undoubtedly fits in, drug driving, many campaigns. And my first role before I even start putting a campaign together is to do my homework, and I do that well. I've spent a year and a half researching thoroughly the issues of parental alienation, and what's presenting as an issue actually isn't the main issue at all. And I cannot run a campaign to address an issue if I don't understand the real problem. Because my team can write award-winning creative, which they've done, sorry that's my dog, for many times. We've won global awards on our campaigning, but if they get the right solution to the wrong problem, it's destined for failure. So my homework is really important, and the study that we've now produced, and you can get it on parentalalienation.uk.info, is basically my homework. And what I found is that almost ingeniously, the issue of parental alienation has been distorted hugely for a different agenda. I've got to say it's a radical gendered ideology agenda where all men are perpetrators, you're all abusers, you're innocent until proven male, and all women are victims. And the issue with that, of course, is that in the parental alienation space, which is we're being told it's junk science, we're being told that it's not happening, and you all know because you're living it every second of every day, because it suits the ideology that's driving the new UK landmark domestic abuse bill. Didn't have one male victim represented. Now, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise because the organisation who only gets funded for female victims is actually driving it. Women's Aid is responsible for this, and her former business development manager, Jess Phillips MP, has been managing it. So no male victims. And yet we're told that domestic abuse affects children, and that's a good part of the new proposed bill. The children who are affected will be listened to and protected. But in parental alienation, they're not, because parental alienation, according to the narrative, doesn't exist, and it's only in the guidelines, whereas it needs to be centre. Because, let's face it, there's nothing more brutal than any parent stopping access, parenting time, with a much loving co-parent, a safe, loving parent, because they want to expunge them from their lives. And so I'd like to read you a comment from our Attorney General, Suella Braverman QC, so that any of those who deny it happens can listen to her words. So I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I'm as blind as a bat. What Suella Braverman said in 2017 when she was discussing family court reforms in 2017, child arrangement orders are made by the court to regulate the contact and residence of children of divorce. In many cases, a defaulting parent, that may be a mother or a father, are you listening? It's not a gender issue, can generally act with impunity. The courts are slow to respond and reluctant to penalise, sending the damaging message the court orders are optional, not mandatory, which is what they are, they're mandatory, that the relationship with a non-resident parent is meaningless. Of course it isn't. Children need both parents. That is their right, and their human rights are being shredded rather than crucial, and that the system is inherently inequitable rather than robust. Well, anyone who's been through the court system knows that it is not robust. Quite the opposite. In the worst cases, a non-resident parent, and it may not always be a non-resident, but generally that is the case because it's a power and control issue, can be denied contact with their child for several years. If they do not have the spare $10,000 to spend on legal fees, and let me say that some of our parents have spent up to $300,000, they've given everything, pension, house, savings, everything. They have nothing whilst they've tried to protect their children. They are essentially erased out of their child's life with no remedy whatsoever. How, Suella Braverman asks, how can this be humane for a child, and how can it be fair to the parent? $1 million question. It isn't fair, and it isn't humane. The welfare of the child is paramount, she continues. That is an abiding and unassailable principle of family law, and children are less likely to experience depression, teenage pregnancy, and delinquency when relationships with both parents are safeguarded. In my last interview, I mentioned that 1 in 8 children now in the UK have a mental health disorder. And on the current trajectory, that's going to be 20% in 2 decades. We're sitting on a ticking time bomb of mental health issues, and we're ignoring this. Children struggle to reach their full potential academically, socially, and professionally, but the law does not reflect this because of the failure to crack down on intransigent parents, and because judges and social workers turn a blind eye to parental alienation. That's from our Attorney General. We know that judges and social workers turn a blind eye, and children are damaged, sometimes irrevocably, as a consequence. She continues that the rise in the number of unfounded allegations of domestic violence as a defence against enforcement is worrying. We need to remove the cloak of secrecy and open up our family courts. Undoubtedly we do. I hope, she says, the government will take the opportunity to begin the work of creating a family law system fit for the 21st century. Well, Attorney General, I hope that you will make this a reality, because you are now in the position to be able to do that, and we're relying on you. Thank you.